Gary, I was wondering if you could read something for me. Gary, can you tell me what this says?
Y'all will regret it, I promise you.
Who said that?
TJD. And I promise you they're regretting it right now because he's playing like a third year. He's picking up things a lot. And, when you got the greatest, on your side, it's kind of easy to, fall in line and get a feel, how the OGs play. And he understands and he knows who to get the ball to and how to protect, each other's back. And he's learning every day and he's just going uphill, and it's great to see from all our young guys.
What do you think about a rookie blocking Giannis 4 times?
Oh yeah, it's just confidence, and he's fearless. Just go there. We told him to protect everybody, and that's what he did tonight. And he's been doing it all this season. It's just great to see that we have some protection in the back line.
What is it like seeing Trayce have those blocks, but then get rewarded on the other side with some dunks?
No, it's simple. You block the shot, you run down, they're going to feed you. You're probably going to be open. Just run, sprint. He's quicker than a lot of the bigs in the league, so he's young. Just run and they'll feed you. Just dunk the ball and come back and do it again.
All right. And for the team tonight, you guys followed up the worst loss of the season in Boston with your highest margin of victory tonight. How do you guys turn the page so quickly?
Next play mentality. I think after that game in that locker room, we scrapped it. It was a long road trip, successful road trip in our eyes. We let that one, just put it behind us and come out. We had a good practice yesterday. Came out confident with energy and, just get back to what we do.
And finally, how is it having Andrew Wiggins back?
Wiggs is a professional, so, no matter how long he's out, he's come back, he's locked in, he's ready to go, and it's good to see his smile.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Brandon, I was wondering if you could read something for me.
Trayce Jackson-Davis, y'all will regret it, I promise you.
Had you seen that before?
I have. That was from draft night. I remember him posting that, and it makes sense. He's a really good player. He's All-American in college and dropped to 57th in the draft. And, his skills are really translatable to the NBA level, which, isn't common for guys that stay 4 years. But he's a special one that his skills translate right away, and he understands, basketball, and he just never gets outside his box and does all the things we need from him every night.
I was just going to ask you if you remembered where he was drafted, and you named it right away, 57.
Yeah, of course. I knew we had picks 19 and 57, so once I got drafted, I kept tuning in to see who we got, and, a hell of a pickup.
There was an early November road trip. I think it was 4 games. It started in OKC. You guys were reassigned to Santa Cruz. Mm-hmm. Now you're in the starting lineup, and he blocked Giannis 4 times. What do you think about how far the two of you have come?
Yeah, we've been through a lot together. I think it was super beneficial that we got to play Summer League together. We both got sent down to Santa Cruz together. We both got called up from Santa Cruz together. We've been a lot of places together. Obviously, a lot of our guys have families, so we're one of the only 2, that doesn't right now. So we get to hang out with each other and just learn a lot about each other. And whenever our opportunities have been called upon, I think we've delivered. And like I said, just not playing outside of our box, understanding our teammates, what their strengths and weaknesses are, and just playing off that and impacting the game with energy.
And then for that Boston game, that was the largest loss of the season. Mm-hmm. You follow that up with your largest margin of victory tonight. How do you guys do that? What is this emotional whiplash?
Yeah, I think we can beat anybody. Like I said a couple days ago, just trying to get that 5th or 6th seed and have a team for 7 games. And I think we have the confidence to beat anybody. We have the experience, the veteran leadership, guys that have won, guys that have been through it, and then, 2 rookies that kind of fit into that mold of a veteran mindset, an experience, not an experience, but just, being out there on the floor, understanding things. And I think we're all well-rounded. You saw we played, I think, 11 guys besides the garbage time. And we're going to need that because, we are an older team. And we still got a lot of games left. And so the more bodies that we can put out there, keep guys fresh, the better we'll be later in the stretch.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Kerr. I appreciate it.
All right, I was wondering if you could read something for me. You remember this?
Y'all will regret it, I promise you. At the end of the day, it is what it is. Just got to keep playing hard, try to make a name for myself, help my team get wins, and just come in and provide energy.
I think 4 blocks on Giannis will help you make a name for yourself. Have you had a chance to check your phone and what kind of text you're getting right now?
Not right now, just I don't even know, just it's a surreal moment, but you just got to build off of it and just keep stacking days, keep stacking games. Credit to coach, just giving me confidence, credit to the players for giving me confidence, and just glory to God first and foremost.
How did you feel that your teammates rewarded you on the other side? You got some dunks in response to that defense.
Yeah, in the first half, me and CP, we had a miscommunication, so just being able to come back in the second half and fix that. Clay got me going with the first bucket, and then obviously Chris, one of the best point guards ever, so it's great playing with him.
Steve said he wants to get you more minutes to get you ready for the playoffs. What does that mean to you that you are going to have a role in the postseason?
It's huge. Obviously, we still got a lot of season left, so can't think too far ahead, but at the same time, being a rookie and just being able to try to come out here and just help our team, me and BP, we're just trying to play hard and try to do everything we can for the vets.
I asked BP this question too. There was a November road trip where you guys were reassigned to Santa Cruz. You didn't go on that trip. Now he's in the starting lineup. Now you're going to get more minutes and you're blocking Giannis. What do you think about how far you two have come together?
It's great. That's my man. We got a lot of confidence in each other. We love playing together. And at the end of the day, we give each other a lot of confidence as well. And we hang out, we go to eat together and do stuff of that nature. So just a relationship that we're building, and I hope it continues in the future.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You said we'd see what the rotation looks like. Clearly, you made some changes. Getting Trayce in there obviously worked. What was the thinking, and what did you see from him in this?
Well, we're going to need Loon in the playoffs. There's going to be matchups where we need him. I know I can trust him, but we got to get Trayce more minutes to get him ready for the playoffs because he needs reps. He needs more time. You can see what he did tonight. He has an ability to finish and to block shots that gives us a different look. And so we decided to ramp up his minutes and slide Moses kind of into a bigger role as well. And those guys were both fantastic tonight, I thought.
On Trayce again, he came in, and after he came in, I mean, obviously the entire energy changed, but how much of it was just the things he was doing and the energy he brought into the paint, because Giannis was attacking the rim like crazy for a while there?
Well, I mean, Trayce is he's so bouncy and he's got long arms. He can really protect the rim and get off the floor quickly. And so, again, it just gives us a different look. Giannis is so hard to guard. So it was good to kind of just change it up on Giannis after, Draymond guarded him for a little bit, Loon as well. And then a little change of pace with Trayce with his athleticism and rim protection. So it takes a village to guard that guy, and we needed everybody for sure.
You went 11 deep. Is that something you feel like you're comfortable continuing to do, considering how deep this rotation is, or are you thinking you're going to have to kind of pare it back a little bit?
Yeah, it'll more than likely be 10. It's hard to play 11. I know we've been playing 11, but if we're going to ramp Trayce's minutes up, then it's more likely going to be 10, and we'll just try to mix and match. But we feel like we found some combinations. We've got we're 3/4 of the way through with the season, so we've got a pretty big sample size of the different combinations out there. And so I think we're in a good spot now where we're able to put together the starting group, which has done a great job here the last month or so, and a second group now that we're fully healthy with a lot of really talented players. And you saw that tonight. The bench was terrific.
Kind of following up on that, how impactful can that bench be? I mean, if, like you said, it's the first time you've had everybody in a long time. These last 21 games, how important can that be as you jostle for position? Yeah,
it's really huge because we've got a very different look off the bench than our starting group. And, we come in with Chris and Clay. That's a, Hall of Fame backcourt off the bench. That's pretty good luxury. And then, adding Trayce to that mix gives Chris a lob threat, and, Moses spaces the floor. BP's another playmaker with that group that started the second and the fourth. And so we liked that lineup quite a bit, and they really came through for us.
37 assists tonight. What would you say keyed the ball and player movement?
I think just unselfish play. I really didn't see any bad shots tonight. I think there were no agendas. It was just, let's go play basketball, move the ball, throw it to the first guy who's open, and put a lot of pressure on the defense that way. So we had the one bad stretch in the third when they really buckled down defensively and went on the run to start the quarter. But all in all, I thought it was a great offensive performance. It was really keyed by simple decision making and passing.
Oh, Steve, as a former bench guy, you know that you don't want the coach to forget about you. Now you got all these guys who want to play. Do you ever see that? Guys want to sit closer to you on the bench or kind of catch your eye? Or
nobody wants to sit closer to me on the bench. I can promise you that. No, I'm really so impressed with this group, and I have been all year. I've talked about it. The chemistry, the commitment to each other, the professionalism, guys, staying with it when it's not their turn. I think Loon has set a tone for us for years regarding unselfishness and commitment to the team, and so he's crucial for that. And I think Chris Paul at the beginning of this season, coming off the bench for the first time ever, that was a pretty good indicator to the rest of the group that Chris was going to do whatever it takes to win. And so I really like this team. I like the makeup of the roster. We've got a really good group of vets who are mentoring the young guys, and it's a good balance of players, and they really like each other, and they're starting to click. It's fun.
Not only Looney getting his minutes cut, but Saric looks like out of the rotation, at least tonight. You've said you want to get him going. You've defended him. How hard is it for you to take those two guys essentially out of the rotation? It's
hard. It's always hard to take anybody out of the rotation, but particularly when you're taking a guy out like Loon. You guys all know Loon has been, kind of one of my all-time favorites, just because of the way he handles himself every single day. And Dario's a total pro. He's I think that in the last month he's really struggled. Up until that point, he was having a great year, and I'm always going to give guys extended chances to get going again. And but we have to do what's best for the team, and we got other guys who are playing well and playing better right now. So it's you just have to make that decision as a coach. But I always believe things come back around, and we'll need Dario, we'll need Loon, and those guys are pros. They'll be ready when they're needed again.
And I think Kuminga had the assignment on Giannis a couple times at least. Did not look like he got overpowered at all. Looked like he played him pretty well. Is it a bit of a gulp when you give him that assignment at any point in the game? And how did you think he did in this?
No, he did a great job. We started him on Brook Lopez and started Draymond on Giannis, but there was some switching, and he ended up on Giannis several times and did a really good job. I just, he had 3 block shots tonight, so he had some help side defense, and I loved the early force, cutting to the rim, getting there in transition. That's what JK does for us. That it's so important because it's a different, kind of a different dynamic for our team. Thank you, guys.
Ready? Oh. Trayce, coach said that, a lot of the minutes you're getting are because he's getting you prepped and ready for the playoffs. One, just being a rookie, knowing that that's your coach's state of mind. What does that mean to you? And then also, how are you using this time to prepare yourself for the playoffs?
Obviously, the playoffs, it's a different beast. We got a lot of vets on the team, and so we're going to me and BP are going to rely on them a lot. But just coming in here, getting this game experience against great teams, be able to go out and perform, just play as hard as you can. That's the biggest thing for me, so I'm just going to continue to play hard.
Hey, Trayce, 20-point halftime lead, cut to 6 when you come to the game midway through the third quarter. Then you get those 2 blocks on Giannis, have the lob. Could you feel the momentum shift in the arena?
Absolutely. I think the first thing was Clay getting me going with that first basket, and then the help side D with Giannis was great, and then whoever just stepping over, making plays. timing. But he's a great player. He's a load to guard. So, but his props to our defense, we tried to contain him. So.
What was that matchup like for you? How unique is he of a matchup than you've ever faced?
Yeah, I've never faced anyone like him before, having a length like that, as fast as he is, explosive. The person that I've watched guard him in the past that's done a pretty successful job is Blake Griffin, just sitting back and kind of allowing him to come to you, and then watching that spin move that he likes to do. But obviously just timing at the rim, I got the best of him with that.
Did you watch that Blake film recently?
Yeah, I watched it a few times. My agents are actually friends with him, really good friends with him, so they talk about it a lot, and especially when we're getting ready to play them. So,
Trayce, this is the first time in more than 3 months you've had sort of the full arsenal, right? Everybody healthy and no suspensions, all that. How do you sort of view what this second unit, this bench group can be? I mean, tonight seems like it showed a snapshot, but now you have 21 games left, and that bench, I would imagine, could make a big difference.
Absolutely. Coach says we're 14, 15 deep, and so obviously everyone can't play. But at the same time, I think we do a great job, and we have a lot of professionals on the team. And whenever someone's name is called, we make the most of that opportunity. And so, but just being able to have a bench like that, I think at the beginning of the year, we were a top bench in the league. And so just going out there when the starting unit's struggling a little bit, trying to give them a push and lift them up.
Hi, Trayce.
Hi.
Do you learn something from each possession in a situation when you're facing a star like that, and just maybe take something that worked a moment ago, or say, okay, that didn't work that possession. Okay, I'm going to try this time. And how much do you do that over the course of your minutes?
I think the biggest thing for me is just watching tape, watching film. Learning guys' tendencies. We knew that with Giannis, he likes to drive left, spin back right, and then when he drives right, he's trying to get to the hole. And so obviously he's a great player, and it's easier said than done, but just trying to contain him, because at the end of the day, he's still going to get his, but making it tough for him is the main goal.
Kind of a follow-up to the bench question, how much of a security blanket in that unit is CP? I mean, it seemed like things are getting a little crazy in the third, and Kerr immediately calls for him. And anytime there's sort of things come unraveled a bit, it seems like he steadies the ship.
No, absolutely. Obviously, that's what having a Hall of Fame veteran point guard coming off the bench, probably top 5 point guard ever. He's a wizard with the ball, and he knows what to do. He knows when the team's going on a run. He's been through it a few times, and so just being able to rely on him to steady the ship is huge.
Is that it? Cool. We're going to try.
Great.
What'd you think of Trayce's performance out there? Do you think it seemed like he kind of turned around a little bit of the emotion, his block shots, running the floor, finishing, that kind of thing?
It was absolutely great today. Did everything that they always want out of him. Like I said, he scored. He rebound, he block shot. He just impacted the game, and he helped us win.
Jonathan, obviously guarding Giannis, takes a team effort, but you drew that assignment quite frequently. How do you think you and the team executed the game plan against Giannis tonight?
He's a hell of a player, and not just one person is able to stop him. So it's just a team effort, defensive effort, and just being locked in on every little details.
What'd you think of the way the ball moved for you guys offensively tonight?
It was great. Everybody touched the ball. Everybody played their part, and that's all that matters. That's all it takes for a team to win. It's the ball movement, because the ball moves faster than people. So just everybody being involved, it made a difference.
Jonathan, you had the team had 13 blocked shots. You had 3. What was the key in defending the boards against a team like Milwaukee with with size with Lopez and Giannis?
I was just locked in on defense, especially starting on Brook Lopez. It's not an easy job playing against a dude like him. Obviously, I was just locked in, and as you see, we don't have anybody starting out there taller than 6'9" or 6'8". So definitely just me being out there, I feel like I'm one of the bigger guy, and I got to do all the small jobs like blocking shot, rebounding, even if I didn't have too many rebounds. But just being physical in there with those guys kind of make our life easier. Thank you. Great.
Obviously, some rotation tweaks going on. How do you feel that all worked? Kind of maybe tighten up with the rotation, kind of get that first and second unit put together. How did you think that all worked out?
I think it's worked well. We found a couple things in our second unit that's working. Trayce with CP is dynamite. And throughout CP's career, one thing that works is him with a lob threat, him with a dynamic roller to the rim. It opens up the defense. And, him and Trayce has found a connection. And they're playing really, really well. And, Moses working his way back into the lineups, been playing extremely well. And so it's, I think we're finding something there with that lineup for sure.
Draymond, you guys had probably one of the best defensive nights in a long time, if not this season. What do you assess to just everyone just being cohesive on the floor from the first unit to the second unit?
Yeah, it started with Jacob Rubin coming in with a defensive game plan, the intensity that he brought to our film session and our walkthrough earlier. Attention to detail. It was a very detailed game plan for us. And, then guys did a great job of executing it, trying to, fire in when we needed to fire, rebounding the basketball. I think, we ended up with, 16 turnovers, but we did a good job of taking care of the ball for the most part and not letting them get out and run in transition. And, we've always said if we can make teams play against us in the half court, it changes everything. It gives a whole different look to our team and our defense.
Hey, Draymond, just how significant was Trayce's stint there in the third quarter after the 20-point lead was cut to 6?
It was huge. I told him thank you. He saved me because I was awful in the third quarter, missing layups, turning the ball over, and Steve got me out of there. Got Trayce in, and he was blocking shots, he was rebounding, he was dunking the ball, good finishes, and he just brought the life back to us. They were starting to make that run, and when you're playing against a great team, they're always going to make a run. And you try to get yourself out of it, and I just couldn't get it going there in the third quarter. And Trayce came in and saved me for sure because I was awful, but saved the day for us. Built the lead back up. I think they cut it to 6. And he was able to make a lot of plays on both ends of the floor to get us back in a position to take control of this game again.
He blocked Giannis 3 times. How difficult is what he did defensively against Giannis?
It's very difficult. You don't see Giannis get blocked often. Giannis is one of the best players in this league for a reason. There's not many people that can block him at the rim. And, a couple of them was just straight up. It wasn't like it was him coming weak side or anything like that. It's just straight up him trying to drive him and him blocking the shot. And, it says a lot about his skill, but also to not back down from that challenge. So many people back down from that challenge. And I get it. I said he's great. He plays with a lot of force. He's going to make contact with you every time he drives the basketball. And, you can be soft and be moved or you can step up to the challenge, and Trayce did that.
Draymond, how much of a carryover was Sunday's loss into how well you guys played tonight?
I think we totally forgot about Sunday when we were in Boston. We had a great flight home, fun flight home after a good 3-1 road trip. No, you never want to let losses stack up, especially at the point of the season we're at. but I can't remember one person today saying anything about Boston game on Sunday. You know, as I said in my interview the other day, you take that one, you flush it, and you move on. And I think we did a great job of that. We didn't watch film on Boston. We didn't do any of that. We just kept it pushing. It was great for us.
How was it to have Bob back in the building tonight?
Oh man, that was it was great. Bob is, you know, when you talk about this franchise and this dynasty that's been built, and so oftentimes it's the players that are mentioned. You know, it's Steph, it's Clay, it's myself, it's Loon. You know, it's so oftentimes you get the players get the credit. But the work that Bob did, and by the way, it's not putting the teams together. You know, for a basketball savant like Bob, that's the easy part. It was the work that he did on the relationships. Every single day being in here, building relationships from top to bottom, from the best player to the worst, from Joe Lacob, Peter Guber, Kirk Lacob, Steve Kerr, Raymond Ritter, from like on to a community, like from top to bottom, the relationships, the work that he did on relationships every day was one of my biggest takeaways in working with Bob. You know, that's the same guy who, when I was suspended for Game 5, didn't come to the game. He came and sat with me and watched the game. You know, and such a special, special soul. And I think, you know, we've all been able to learn from him. And to see him be celebrated tonight the way he should have, you know, you talk about jerseys getting retired and all those things. His will. His name will be up there in the rafters with what he brought to this organization when no one believed that this organization could be anything. I was a Bay Area native who came back after spending 20 years in L.A. To take the franchise that he watched growing up, that he would go sit in the 200 seats with his dad just to watch a game. It was him that had a vision and a belief that I can go back there and lead a charge in taking a franchise to the promised land, the laughingstock of the NBA when he came back here. And, you know, there's your goal in life should always be to leave whatever it is that you're leaving behind in a better place than it was when you got it. And he far exceeded that. He left it in the best place it could possibly be. And without, you know, it is a true statement in the character of the man that he is, because it's not easy. What he was able to do, he had to manage me often while doing all this other stuff, you know. And when it went right, he was right there. Like, less there when it went right, though. You know, he spent less time with you when it went right. Spent far more time with me when it was going wrong. And most people are the opposite. Most people want to be there when it's good, be there when the flowers are being thrown, be there when it's Draymond, you're great, you're defensive player of the year. That's when most people are there. But when no one wants you around, when everybody's saying, oh, that guy shouldn't be here anymore, when everybody's saying he's the cause of the demise of this franchise and all these things, that's when he's right there. And I couldn't have asked for a special person to spend my first 11 years with, because if it wasn't for him, I'm not sure where I'd be, where my career would have gone. You know, the things that I've learned from him about being a father, being a husband, being a great person, like, I'm not sure I'm sitting here talking to you today without that man.
Well, it seems kind of silly to ask another question here, but your minutes haven't been real high recently, and looks like nobody's really had except for Steph. the way this roster is and the way this rotation is set up, is that kind of, you think, the way it's going to be, 26, 28 minutes, and everyone, other guys get 14, 16, and that's good with everybody?
I mean, that's the way it's been, and I don't really foresee that changing. No time soon. Usually when you get close to the playoffs, sometimes those things change. But I think, that is the strength of this team, is that we got so many different guys that can come in and affect the game in a positive way. And as a coach of this team, you want to lean into that. Especially our schedule hasn't been easy. It's been a very tough schedule. And, I think Steve is doing an incredible job of not only monitoring minutes, but finding the right combinations to make those minutes as powerful as they can be. You look up Trayce, he played 18 minutes. But the combinations that he was out there with was great combinations, and which allowed him to have 15.7. Now, granted, he put the work in. I'm not saying everybody else did, but he had 15.7 rebounds, plus 20 from the floor in 15 minutes. I mean, in 18 minutes. And so, it's on us as players that when you're out there, you give everything you got. Don't take plays off, because you're not playing a bunch of minutes anyway. I've 25 minutes. Like, I can't take plays off playing only 25 minutes. There's no reason to take plays off. And so I think that's one of the beautiful things about this is, like, everybody, when you're out there on the court, you should be flying around and jumping off the wall, because you're not playing a million minutes. So give everything you got when you're out there.
All right, we got a game in 20 hours. Thank you.